Hello internet, it is me again, and today we are talking about Kindle Unlimited. I know we don't like supporting Jeff Bezos, but when you are an absolute book fiend like I am, you have to make sacrifices, otherwise your bank cops it all, and that's not what we want. We are trying to move out, not stay living here with our books. All of that is to say, it is $13.99 a month. I've had it for like 6 months now. I have some thoughts. Let's talk about them. Because I want to be very negative, we're going to start with the cons. I can only think of one. No. If you're an avid reader, I will say I think the only con is that you can only have 10 titles on your shelf at a time. Like 10 Kindle Unlimited titles. You can have as many titles that you pay for as you want. And the only reason that I say this is a negative is because like I'll be scrolling through TikTok and all of these recommendations come up and I'll check them out. They're all on Kindle Unlimited and I want to like download them all so that they're there and I can read them. But I don't always have space, which is really frustrating. I will admit, I don't really understand the reason why you can only have 10 titles. It's all free and you can have each title for as long as you want. So I don't really get the whole 10 title thing. That is truly the only con I can think of for an avid reader. If you are not an avid reader, if you're not reading at least a book every 2 months, it is not worth you having a Kindle Unlimited account at all. You might as well, because like the average paperback in Australia costs what, $20? Like even less if you're going to like Kmart or Big W to get it instead of like a bookstore. So if you're not reading at least a book every 2 months, it's not worth having. But if you're an avid reader or you're reading like a book a month or whatever, this may be something for you to consider. Personally, I got it because I am a very avid reader. It appealed to me because it was like I'm paying $13.99 a month, so it's not free, but I can read as many books as I want, right? And initially going into it, I definitely had some prejudices and I thought that the only titles that would be on there were just like cheap romances that you could find on like, I don't know, the iBook store for like $1 anyway. That's not the case. You actually have some really popular like famous titles on there. I read The Cruel Prince, The Spanish Love Deception, which is doing its rounds at the moment. At the moment on my shelf, I've got a bunch of Colleen Hoover books that were all on Kindle Unlimited. So it's not just reserved for like shitty romances. There's definitely those on there, but there's also other things. I will admit though, I have really only explored specifically like the romance genre on Kindle Unlimited with like dipping my toe into the fantasy. So I can't speak to other genres like adult fantasy, horror, biographies, if they're any good. I don't know. But definitely for fantasy lovers, there's definitely some trash on there, 100%. There have been books that I've picked up on there and I was like, I've stopped reading. I was like, what the actual hell am I reading right now? But back to the entire point of this section, the only con I can think of if you're an avid reader is that you can only have 10 titles on your shelf at a time. But let's go into the list of my pros. Obviously, great for avid readers. If you read a lot, I would seriously consider checking it out. It, economically would be better for you than buying a bunch of books every month. In my brain, anytime I get anything on Kindle Unlimited, it's a free book, and that is fun, and I love that for me. It's not true, but in my brain it is. See? Free books. Who doesn't love free books? Even though you can only have 10 titles on your shelf at a time, you can, read as many Kindle Unlimited books as you want in a month. As many as you want. You just have to keep returning books. It's kind of like a library in that aspect. You can read as many books from the library as you want, but you need to return some. But there's no time limit, unlike the library. You can return the books whenever you're well and ready. You can have titles sitting on your shelf for months and months and months and not touch them, and then suddenly decide you want to read them, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly allowed. Also, unlike the library, I suppose, there are no hidden fees, at least in my experience. Again, I've only had it for 6 months, so whatever, but it's pretty straightforward. You pay your $13.99 a month and you go on your way. If you want to read a book that's not on Kindle Unlimited, obviously that costs you, but I haven't associated any hidden costs with the Kindle Unlimited platform thus far. However, just generally, Amazon is an absolute bitch to cancel anything on. I signed up for that free Audible month trial that was probably still on, but a lot of YouTubers were promoting it at the time. And so I signed up and oh my god, do you think I could figure out how to cancel that thing? Nuh-uh. I had to call them and then they had to deal with it. I assume cancelling a Kindle Unlimited account would be very similar to that, but whatever. Similar to the Audible thing, your first month is free. You can always explore the possibilities before diving into your $14. I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but I don't have an actual Kindle. I have my phone, with the Kindle iOS app on it. One thing I love about Kindle Unlimited is you can search for Kindle Unlimited books on there and like purchase them through the app. You can't do that with any books with like an actual cost though. You have to go onto amazon.com.au, just because going to like the website is such an inconvenience. Again, I don't know if you have to do that on like an actual Kindle or if there's like a built-in purchasing platform on there, but you can get Kindle Unlimited books from the Kindle app. You don't have to go to the website. The other thing, when I started using Kindle Unlimited, I was like, oh, is this any good for the author? Because like, it's Amazon. They're not exactly known for their generosity or their charity. And so I was like, ugh. Like, I love the idea of it, but I'm really unsure if I'm even like supporting the author or if I would even just be better off like pirating the book, right? Like, seriously, would it be better to pirate the book or get it on Kindle Unlimited? Like, but I saw this random TikTok one day with this author who has her books on Kindle Unlimited, and she said that like it is beneficial for her and that she enjoys having her books on Kindle Unlimited, I suppose. So I guess they're not taking advantage of authors. They probably are. If the books are free, they're probably taking advantage of them. But yeah, she said that it was fine. Like, they still get paid for it. So if that was something that was holding you back, this one author on TikTok told me that it was fine, but I'm pretty sure it works out fairly for authors. Hopefully. So the other thing I just kind of wanted to like mention is I know that at the moment there are a lot of people who are like avid like young teen readers, and then they fell out of love with reading and now they're getting back into it after seeing like book talk and stuff. This would be a really great way to like rediscover what genres you love, especially because if you were like an avid reader in the 2010s, all you read were like Hunger Games and Twilight, and those kind of stories don't really exist anymore. The whole dystopian thing has had its time, it's moved on. And so if you're trying to like rediscover your love for books, this might be a really confusing time for you and you're like, I don't know what I like. I don't like YA anymore, or, you know, these like dystopian texts that I really loved aren't really around for me anymore. Where do I start? Start on Kindle Unlimited. I think it's a really great opportunity to explore different genres and authors and kind of suss out what you like and don't like, being relatively risk-free. It's $14. It is less risk than going out and buying a paperback each time. So I think if you're trying to rediscover like your style, your books, your favorite genres, Kindle Unlimited is a great place to start. The other thing, you get full-size books. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, or if like that was just implied. They are full-size books. So yeah, you're not like getting samples and it's like, pay $6 to read the rest. No, full-size books, as many as you want, for as long as you want. Granted, you only have 10 at a time. That's what I think of Kindle Unlimited. I think deciding whether or not it's like worth it for you is completely dependent on how often you read. If you're an avid reader and you're reading more than like 3 books a month, absolutely it's worth it. But if you don't read all that often, the only thing Kindle Unlimited would be good for would be the convenience, which Kindle in general is. Like, there's no point in you spending $14 a month to have like the convenience of getting free books. You might as well just wait until you're in a reading mood and then download an ebook, right? Yeah, and that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, or whatever. We don't like Jeff Bezos, but this might be the one exception that we can make. Yeah, bye, and I'll see you next week.